My name's Charlie Hartley. I have a fishing problem. I'm powerless to my passion to fish. I've made irresponsible decisions. I've lost jobs and ruined relationships and have financially ruined myself several times because of fishing, and I don't regret a minute or a penny I've spent fishing. I plan to spend lots more. I love it. Every morning when I wake up, I want to go fishing. I've been blessed with a passion. I've had some very well-to-do gentlemen fly out to fish with me for a day, and sometimes I see them in the back just sitting there watching me fishing. And I say, do you want to go in, or are you bored? And they're like, no. I'm just amazed to watch someone that has a passion like this. Some of them have told me I have all the money in the world and I'd give it all up for your passion. So I'm one of the luckiest, richest men in the world, because when I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what I want to do. I want to catch another fish. It has never gotten old to me. Every time I catch a fish, I giggle like a little girl, and I don't even care if it's a bluegill. It's one of the things that makes me love fishing. It's one of the things that doesn't make me a great tournament fisherman. Because a lot of times what I want to do is just fish. And in a tournament, that necessarily, or practicing for a tournament, that isn't necessarily the best decision or the most efficient way to practice or fish a tournament. That gentleman just mentioned taking notes. When I was down practicing for the 2008 Classic at Hartwell, I love going practicing for tournaments because I'm going fishing. It isn't practicing or scouting or pre-fishing to me. I'm going to a beautiful body of water and I'm getting to fish. And I called my buddy one evening from Hartwell and I said, oh, it's great down here. The weather's great. I'm catching the snot out of him. He goes, you're practicing for the Bassmaster Classic. Quit playing around and start taking it serious. First thing he said to me, are you taking notes? I thought, I don't take notes when I'm fishing. I remember every fish I've ever caught. I remember every lure I ever caught a fish on. And 20 years ago, that was true. That isn't true as you get older, and as you have more memories and more things to base your decisions on, you don't remember them all. So I started taking notes. I filled legal pad after legal pad with notes so that when I returned to that Classic, I could review all those, and we only had 3 official practice days, and I didn't have time to go see the whole lake all over again, but my notes told me where I needed to go and what I needed to check out. And it became very valuable. But I mean, first and foremost, I have a passion for fishing, which has gotten me a long ways in fishing. And it was by not fishing with any hooks. Nobody wants to hear that. That's no fun at all. But I'll tell you, that's one of the greatest tricks I can tell you for practicing for Ohio tournaments, is to not catch your fish before the tournament. But when I first started flipping, I was right on when flipping was brand new. And to me, it was neat. I was on the cutting edge of that. I was young, and it was a brand new tactic. The old timers weren't so quick to pick up on a new tactic. And my first flipping stick was the Fenwick Lunker stick, fiberglass. It was that big around. It weighed 2 pounds, and the reel was a Ambassador 5000. I changed out the ivory handle for a gator grip. I was really tricking my outfit out back then, but that rod and reel weighed 5 pounds, and my arm got as big as Popeye flipping that, and they'd always say, well, who's that little guy? Who's that little guy so close to the bank with that long rod? He keeps bringing in big fish. When I started flipping in Ohio, nobody was doing that. And I could go right up to a big old flooded bush, and I could drop my big ugly jig right in the middle of it, and I could pull a 4-pounder out of there. The fish hadn't seen lures. They hadn't been pressured. It was brand new to them, and it was easy. But it wasn't long until everyone was flipping their jig in the middle of those bushes, and then you had to get a little trickier to catch a fish. You guys fish such pressured waters now from when we were young men. You used to be able to go down the bank with a spinner bait, throw it next to a stump, 4-pounder, run off the stump, come out and get it. Those fish have been caught 20 years ago. So you really had to become more and more stealthy and more tricky at catching those flipping fish. Things I flip. All right, great question. Things I consider finesse flipping. Small plastics and light, small jigs. I brought a couple jigs, but let's talk about jigs. I love a D&L Advantage jig. I don't get paid by them. I have to buy my jigs. It's just that they have some of the best colored skirts I've ever seen. They're from down in the Cumberland, Dale Hollow area where they have super clear water, and they have different shades of skirts for each phase of the crayfish. They have spring crawl, summer crawl, fall crawl, barren crawl. They tie up jigs for different lakes. There's Cumberland crawl. There's just an incredible small amount of hues. And in clear water, that matters. In stained water, that doesn't matter much at all. It really doesn't. One of my really favorite jigs, and boy, I'm giving you guys all my stuff today. These are no secrets. It's a color called Oops. And the guy, I think it's called Oops because he tied it up in the dark. When the lights come on, he went, oops, that's not what I meant to tie up. But it's a green pumpkin with a faded orange and a faded chartreuse. They're very faded. They're not bright at all. The thing I love about this jig is it's pretty good in clear water, pretty good in stained water. It's kind of in the middle. Now, when I get super, super clear water, I get away from Oops. They've got one called Soft Shell, and they've got, I like green pumpkin brown, very subtle colors. Again, when I grew up, we didn't have all these great colors. We had brown or black. But the water was a lot darker, too, so we could get away with that. I use a Smalley Beaver as a trailer a lot. It makes a nice compact looking bait. It looks very natural, and the thing I love about that trailer is it makes your jig.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.